Okay, welcome everybody. This is the Fantastic Flow podcast. I am your host at One Marcus Flowers, aka Flo, aka Call Me What You Want. Just don't call me lazy. And today I am here with the world traveler, the richest man this side of the Mississippi River. I don't know what else to say. His name is Ro. Ro knows. How's it going, man?
Hey man, chill.
Yeah, I just appreciate you for coming in today. And we're just gonna get right into it. So the past couple of, let's say months, we've been going back and forth through just Instagram DMs, a little bit of Twitter DMs, and text messages. We talk about AEW versus WWE.
Right.
All right. So where do you stand on this?
So I've been watching wrestling. I'm just going.
Right. No.
I'm just giving a little backstory.
Okay.
So it was the first year I started watching wrestling. First thing I started watching was WWE.
Yeah.
I'm from Atlanta, so WCW was prominent in my life as well. Really more than WWE, but I watched both.
Okay.
So I kind of, maybe back in 94, I think like maybe around WrestleMania 9 time.
Okay.
93, 94, when I started watching wrestling. I remember watching WrestleMania 3.
Okay.
When I was trash, one of the worst WrestleManias. So, I've been watching since back then. I don't know how long you've been watching, but back then, or maybe like when I started watching, and of course before that, during the COVID time. From 93, when I started watching, up until, let's say, 2005, around like the John Cena match, when they first started.
Right.
Batista when they first won the championship.
Right.
That was the first movie that was. But around that time, that's when, like, that was like my main time watching wrestling. After that, I went to Air Force, I kind of fell off from it. The characters were really doing much for me.
No, for sure.
So that's why I stayed with it. So with AEW, so like I said, WCW, that was WWF's competition back in the day.
Right.
And it was big competition, like around 98, 99.
Right.
So I'm all for the competition, and I want to see another promotion because, watching the same promotion gets tiring.
Right.
WWE has been around forever.
Right.
So I'm with AEW right now.
Okay.
Because I feel like they could really do what the past people couldn't do, like what the past promotion couldn't do. WCW, what's the other one that was trash?
ECW.
No, not ECW. ECW, bro. ECW, of course. What's the
Impact?
Yeah, TNA.
Impact. That's still around though.
Huh?
TNA's still around. It's on. It's on Twitch.
Oh,
it's on Twitch.
That's all you need to know, right?
Nah, it's still Impact's still around.
Word.
I will say this. It seems like I'm firmly just a WWE fan, and when you said there's not a lot of options, there are like hella options when it comes to like. Are you watching? Are you following the G1 Climax this weekend? The past couple of weeks. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't. Not last week, but I've been like loosely keeping up.
Okay. Yeah. So that's going on this weekend. We also have like Noah. Then we have like Stardom. So there's like, if you're a wrestling fan, there is something for you. When it comes to just like my background in WWE, it was like 97, 98. That's when I first got in. Towards like, I don't want to say like the Stone Cold and the Rock and just like that excitement really just like brought me in. Mm-hmm. And then from there it was and then from there it was that it was the Ruthless Aggression era with John Cena and Batista. That's when I really like was like super hooked, just because it was like I always like, ever since I was kids, I love like the passing of the guard. Mm-hmm. So like, and just like seeing that in real time was just always super dope to me.
Right.
And then like, of course, like 09, 10, I went to college and like I fell off from it.
Right.
And then just
it's
like,
and
then like it was weird. One of my my girl at the time, I was like, "What you doing?" She was like, "Oh, I'm watching Raw. The Rock's is back tonight."
Right.
And this was like in 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
And then he came back to fight Cena, and that was that. And I think that was the night when Cena called him out for reading the promos off of his hand, and that like the Rock shaking. And I was like, okay, this is it. And then after that, you had like Dolph Ziggler, and then you had like the emergence of the Shield and NXT. And so it's just like, it's like crazy to see like a childhood thing grow up to be just like this billion dollar company. Right. That like, and you gotta think about it. You talk about like Vince McMahon a lot, but he's like really made wrestling like mainstream.
Yeah.
Because it was like
when he was younger.
It was like backyard brawling basically, like farm pits and like it was.
It was just more. It was just less theatrics.
Right.
It's still the same wrestling. It's
right.
less theatrics.
And so, but my thing with AEW is that Most of their stars are from WWE.
No, they're not.
Who?
They only, so I was watching.
Right.
So I watched Talking.
Okay.
I watched Talking Jericho. That's another wrestling podcast.
Right.
That I watch. And when I was talking about wrestling podcasts, I was talking about like non-wrestlers podcasts.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of wrestlers have. So I was just watching his like maybe a couple days ago, and he was talking about, or it wasn't even his podcast. He was on somebody else's podcast. Right. So he's talking about AEW. They brought that up. It was like, you know, what makes AEW different from the TNAs? Because honestly, you said all those other promotions, like really the only one that's really respected, the lower ones that are really respected is Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Right.
That's New Japan Pro Wrestling. You gotta really be a good wrestler to be there. They do the story too. That's like New Japan Pro Wrestling is perfect, but it's not. It's Japanese, so it's not gonna do well in the American field, you know, or the American audience. But I think AEW could be the New Japan Pro Wrestling of America, just because the wrestlers they have, like what did Jericho say? Jericho said that they were talking about bringing like what if CM Punk wanted to come back to wrestling, would they try to lure him back to AEW? Mm-hmm. And he was like, you know, we don't really need him. And CM Punk is a great wrestler.
I feel you.
And they was like, for him to say we don't need him, that shows me that they're not going to go down to TNA, because that's where TNA. So it's not just they have WWE wrestlers. Right. They have young WWE wrestlers. TNA had old WWE wrestlers. T, Hulk Hogan. Right. Old.
And my thing with AEW, I'm just like looking at their roster. Their last pay-per-view, Adam Page, he's not the guy. Yeah, he's not, and they're trying to make it, and it's like, and it's a weird predicament that they're in, because they it's like that whole like fan base is like, oh, you even hit me up about how WWE put the belt on Lesnar. They have a big TV deal coming up, so like that from a business point that makes complete sense. Yeah. But AEW is gonna do the same thing and put Chris Jericho. They're gonna give him the world title, and when you think about it. There's no who's the star of AEW? Like who's gonna be that guy?
To me,
to you.
Star, so this is my take on it. The star, it's not gonna be Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes gotta be like he could be in the mix, but of course he's like what he's like.
He's like head of creative. Yeah.
He's an owner, of course, because
right.
some billionaire.
Yeah, it's Tony Khan.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The Khans.
So he's too involved. So he probably gonna win the championship too. Is gonna change hands and all that. But I feel like they should really lean on Kenny Omega.
See,
Kenny Omega has the charisma.
See, does he have the charisma?
Yes, he got
you
the
see his promos?
Style. Yes, he can get better.
I'm gonna put a Kenny Omega's 39. How much better is he gonna get? That's wild. Like when you think about it, Kenny Omega is on the later half of his career. You expect him to get better at promos?
Not better.
You know,
his promos are lacking.
Right.
But his wrestling don't never lack.
I don't know. He has not had a good 2019. His one great year was that 2016 when he was killing it.
Yeah.
And he's been living off of that.
Yeah,
he's been living off of that.
That was a great year for him.
And so it's just from like 3 years, and even like last year, he wasn't wrestling a lot. And this year, this has been like the least he's wrestled ever. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I'd even go as far as to say that Adam Cole has had a better year than Kenny Omega.
It's a new promotion though, man. Like you gotta take your lumps. Like you gotta when you start off, it's not gonna be straight to the moon.
And that's the thing about a person like Kenny Omega, because you and I would know Kenny Omega. Mm-hmm. My brother wouldn't know Kenny Omega, but he would know John Cena. He would know he would even know like Goldust. He would know Chris Jericho. Yeah. And so it's just like that's the thing. You can't introduce like because they're on TNT in October, mm-hmm. and your guy is gonna be a brand new guy who isn't good at talking. Right. Whose main like thing is like the finger guns. Right. Like that's his. And even at the Fight for Fallen when he was doing that, mm-hmm. which was a charity event to stop gun violence. Right. He even did like that. And I was like, that's like, and even when you think about it as just like, he's like head too. Yeah. So it's just like, you can't do that. Like, you too old for that. Like, you.
I be forgetting that nigga like 39. Yeah. Like, you know, these wrestlers be like, they don't really age themselves. I mean, right. They looking old sometimes. Right. But they still be trying to be young. Like, right. I feel like, I don't know, I'm going to put it to you. So AEW, I'm going to put it to you like this. I'm going to go back to when Vince first took over WWE. Okay. His father. Right. When it was like triple W. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know how old Vince was. Let's say he was in his late 30s when he took over. I'm gonna say that.
I think he was younger though.
Younger?
He might have been. It'd be late 20s. Like he's 70 now, so it's just
right. Yeah, it's probably late 20s when he took over. So he took it and brought it to something that his dad would have never took it to. You know why? Because he was younger. He was young. He had the fresh ideas. He knew what was cool. Right. He was young. Right. So this is why I think. This is the only way I think WWE won't get stale, or won't they'll have to evolve eventually. Because niggas, you see their ratings is getting lower and lower.
Well, actually, I will say, if you looked at last week's ratings, SmackDown was the highest show on all cable.
Bray Wyatt.
No, it wasn't because of Bray Wyatt.
No, I'm not saying because Bray Wyatt was going to be on there.
Right.
He was on Raw.
Right.
And of course, niggas was hyped up because it was Bray, because that's all niggas been waiting for.
Well,
the past couple months is Bray Wyatt.
Man, we gonna have a serious conversation about Bray Wyatt. He be disappearing for years and come back and be doing the same thing. Because he was injured and he had a child.
Yeah. So he wanted to be with his wife or whatever. But they wanted him. I just read about this a couple days ago. They wanted him to change. They've been trying to get him to change his character from Bray Wyatt because he's been doing that since way before NXT.
Yeah.
When he was Ohio Valley Wrestling before.
Well, it was like Husky Hairs.
No, so the Husky Hairs shit came later on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it did come. So they put him back in. Husky Hairs shit came, and then he went over to NXT, but before it was NXT, it was it Ohio Valley?
It was.
Yeah. So
OVW,
Ohio Valley Wrestling. So then it transitioned into NXT, and he was still doing it. And of course, he came onto the main roster. He's still doing it. They just got tired of that character, but that was like he said that was like his baby. Like he wanted to. It was some interview they did with him that was like his baby, so he wanted to keep it. So he kind of compromised, and they was like, we want you to change your character. So he doing this little sweater vest. Bray Wyatt. He's still Bray Wyatt, but he's doing like the Mr. Rogers shit.
I'm more intrigued with the Mr. Rogers aspect of this character.
And the Fiend?
Just then, because we've seen that before.
Is he gonna wrestle in that mask?
I've seen because we've seen like Bray Wyatt, the cult leader,
right.
And just like we're going on like 5 years of this.
But he's different. He's not a cult leader.
And so, it's just like we've seen like the Fiend Bray Wyatt, and so
have we?
Yes, we have. When he and it was like we see whenever he taps into like his crazy personality, we see like he gets it, he always falls short. And now we're in an era where we have like Aleister Black who can come through and just take that and run with it. Right. Who Aleister Black has the potential to be the next Undertaker.
Do they have the charisma? Because
yes.
Bray Wyatt I think he got him and what's his name? Oh, son, why don't you get his fucking name?
The Miz.
But yeah, him and The Miz right now are the best talkers in WWE. Right?
See, I would say that. I also would say Adam Cole as well.
Yeah.
I also would. I always throw out Kofi Kingston has actually gotten better as a champion, just because even as the New Day, they got to hide him behind Xavier Woods promos, and now he's a prominent champion.
Yeah, they kind of
and we see him.
Because they let them bring their black humor out. That's why.
And that's been super. That's super dope to see. Just like. Comparing where WWE was 20 years ago to having an actual black champion to having multiple black.
Can we talk about that? Because The Rock is not a goddamn actual black champion.
Okay.
That nigga's Samoan.
He's black though.
He is black.
He said he's black.
But
like,
you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
I feel you, but you can't just be like, yo, The Rock
Mark
ain't black.
Henry should have been champion. Booker T should have been the champion.
I agree with both of those. But I just feel like The Rock is a black champion. Like you can't take away.
They didn't start playing the African American side until way later.
They didn't play until like he left.
They just Samoan. He's part of the because he's a part of the they would say Rocky Johnson, but then they would say they would both say because it was his uncle's
and that's like a legendary family.
Yeah, that whole family.
Right, and so they have a black champion, but it's just like it's crazy to see the development of where WWE is with their minority characters. And it's just like I'm fearful with AEW because AEW their owner is a Trump supporter. Cody Rhodes is a Trump supporter. The Young Bucks.
You think Vince ain't no Trump supporter?
Bruh, but I feel like Vince has.
Ain't no Trump supporter?
But look at the product they put out.
But that's because look, niggas had to force them to make Kofi Kingston white people wanted to see Kofi Kingston as a champion.
So who's going to force? Who are the black wrestlers on AEW?
I don't think there has to be at least one or two.
I'm trying to look at it right now. It's just like, and I'm fearful just because with AEW and Cody being the head.
Right.
Like I heard this yesterday, but no disrespect to the Rhodes family, but the wrestlers, they've never been world champions.
Who?
That whole Rhodes family.
Like talking about Dusty Rhodes?
Dusty was never world champion. No.
Goldust.
Not in WWE, but he was champion enough. Okay, but he wasn't champion at like the top.
Yeah.
Goldust was never a world champion. Rhodes was never a world champion. So it's just like, and I'm fearful that Cody being head of creative is gonna put himself in this like.
He's gonna do that thing.
And but you gotta think Cody Rhodes' whole gimmick after he left WWE was nepotism is amazing, and that was his thing, and it worked because people were like, oh look at Cody, he's doing it on his own, while building it off of his father's name, and so that's the thing that I'm worried about with AEW, and there's like with their creative, it's not even like a real. They don't have writers. Right. It's them in a group chat. That's gonna come. It's like you can't do that with like when you're going on TNT in 3 months. Right. So like you can't just have like a group chat, yo.
You think WWE wasn't winging it when they got their first TV deal?
Of course.
Like this,
but I'm sure they had writers though.
Right.
They weren't just like, hey, they didn't have like wrestlers at the top making the decisions. Like I'm sure. Like, of course, like even, and that's what brought them down. And that's like, and I can see that definitely happening with AEW when you have like a team as talented as the Young Bucks, who they're probably because they're on like an amazing winning streak, and I see them setting it up because you have to set up the Young Bucks to be that team because because normal casual wrestling viewers have never seen the Young Bucks, and they have a style that's pretty amazing. My only thing is the wear and tear it will take on them, because you gotta think they haven't wrestled like that. They haven't wrestled weekly in like I want to say 2 years, and so when you think about it, so it's just like Cody hasn't wrestled weekly in 2 years.
Do they still go? So are they only with AEW? Do they still? I know they still got. Where they could go wrestle.
So it's weird with AEW. So like they're just AEW, but like they're like certain wrestlers have that flexibility. Like John Moxley, Jericho, John Moxley, Sean Spears, and even did you see the controversy with Sean Spears a week ago? So he was scheduled to be at some promotion in Oregon, and AEW said no, you can't do that. And then the promotion went on Twitter and was like, yo, AEW said that he can go. And then I guess they had an agreement and he still showed up. And that's the thing. It's just like,
the ramifications from that?
It was just like, yeah, you got to go now. But it's just like, when you have a person like Sean Spears, who was Ty Dillinger, who was in NXT forever, when you're trying to make him a guy, you gotta keep him in house. When Sean Spears' Twitter name is Perfection, and it's like a 1 and a 0 for the I and O. He got that from WWE. Yeah. And so it's just like you can't build your name off of something that like you were in NXT since like 2006. Yeah. Like you don't have like the merit. You don't have like the stripes.
Like John Moxley. I just started getting used to calling him John Moxley. But yeah, it's like John Moxley. I don't think he's taking the same. He got the same character, but it's him. It's just him.
The weird thing about John Moxley's getting exposed in the G1. He's been putting up boring matches. He's getting carried by his opponents. He has the same kind of matches, and it's just like I'm fearful because
Japanese wrestlers are just overall. I think Japanese wrestlers overall are better than just American.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say like I would say like they are. It's just like the style is different.
Yeah. Like I'm seeing why another reason WWE is gonna. This is what I was trying to make earlier. Okay. For WWE to really survive and for people to just for them to just have the highest ratings ever, they have to give it to Triple H. They have to.
See, and
Vince McMahon is like Jerry Jones right now.
And see, this is what I feel like. People are all hell bent on Vince McMahon, but like he passed off responsibilities to Vince Russo and Paul Heyman.
Vince Russo was trash. He's talking about not Vince
Russo. Eric Bischoff.
But did he really though?
Yeah, I feel like he did. Yeah.
I feel like he's never given all his power away. Of course.
No, of course. Like
I think he maybe gave him 25% power on, but he still got. I feel like he still has to say so. So if you don't like something, he feels the same.
And I feel like with the launch of the XFL,
that shit really trash.
I feel like he will step back, and I don't necessarily think Triple H is a good worldwide booker. He's a great territory booker. Yeah. Like NXT is perfect for Triple H
Yeah.
because it's small. It's like it's very intimate.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have something, when you're juggling like 50, 60 wrestlers,
Right.
that's not really his wheelhouse. He can't really do that. He does
How
like
do we know?
because we've seen it when he books like Daniel Bryan and stuff. Like we've seen like him on a big stage and him trying to book, and we've seen like he's not the best at that. He's a territory booker because that's the way he came up. And so, but he's like 50. Like people like you say like Vince is stuck in his ways. Vince has always been open to like ideas. It's like it's not just like Hammer. This is what's going to happen, and that's that.
Yeah.
And that's like okay. Like if Vince was like that, WWE wouldn't be around today.
That's true. But I think it's still around now because that's the only thing we have. Besides, as far as that's the biggest, we're just used to that. We're just used to that.
And I don't want to even say we're like used to it because WWE has always been changing.
That's true.
And so it's just like right now I feel like we are in a golden renaissance of WWE. Because yes, we have like Seth Rollins, we have Ricochet, we have AJ Styles, we have Aleister Black, we have Cesaro, like we have like so many wrestlers.
You named a lot of wrestlers that they'll never give. So they've been doing Cesaro wrong.
But like,
why he not a champion?
Because Cesaro is an enhancement. Okay, Cesaro is like a Lou Williams. He's a great 6-man. He's not that guy, but he can go out. He'll do what's necessary.
Who you think is the next? So Bray Wyatt. So I think they're gonna put the championship on Bray Wyatt. Right. He's already had a championship before.
Right.
Who do you think is going to be the next new guy to get the championship? Because when AJ Styles came out, of course, it's a no-brainer. You got to get AJ Styles the title. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. Right. You got to get him. But who do you think is going to come up and be? They say grab the brass ring. Who do you think will be next?
Ricochet.
Ricochet. I don't know.
Ricochet is that guy. His style is amazing.
Yeah,
he's getting better at his promos. They make Rey Mysterio world champion.
That's what I'm saying. They gonna cheat, but he wasn't. He was kind of a joke as a champion. He was too small. Like, but Vince releasing big guys. He was too small to be champion.
But their past champion was Seth Rollins. Before that was AJ Styles. Daniel Bryan was a champion. These are all I'm like the same size as Daniel Bryan. So it's just like
but Daniel Bryan, these are like technical. These are like big technical wrestlers. Daniel Bryan.
But I feel like Ricochet is that guy. He even his AJ Styles feud. I don't know if you watch
Daniel Bryan.
Right now, I wouldn't think so. I would say Daniel just like he's like the best wrestler in the world right now, and so I wouldn't like.
So?
I do think so.
I said it about AJ Styles, but I said it about a lot of people are the best wrestlers in the world at some point.
And that's also the thing with AEW. They don't have like wrestlers who are going to make you want to go back and watch that match again. Mm-hmm. Have you ever in your life gone back and be like, that Cody Rhodes match was fire? Let me run that back. That Kenny Omega match from 3 years ago, that was pretty fire.
He had more than one match 3 years ago, man.
No, I'm saying like he had a great run, but like
that was just like his best year. He got like a 5-star match.
Right.
Nobody's ever gotten a 5-star match from PWI.
See, yeah, but that's like that Meltzer and all that, and even just like the era we're in now where they're so like anti WWE,
right?
Where we're not even getting like true journalism.
Yeah.
Where it's taking like journalists coming like, yo, this is facts. The only true wrestling journalism that I respect is Sean Ross from Fightful.com.
Yeah.
Because they're very down the middle. They're unbiased. When it comes to Meltzer always like AEW did this despite like he would say like AEW did like 1 million views in one day and that's the best ever on a Sunday on this day. And it's like, all right, we get it. And then he'd be like, WWE's views suck, but not taking into account, okay, they're going against Monday Night Football, they're going against like the Olympics, something like that. So just like,
I don't know, man. I'm just tired of Brock Lesnar, man.
See,
and I love Brock Lesnar, and I know why they put the belt on Brock Lesnar. I get it.
Right.
I know why they put it on him every time, but I just want to see a fighting champion again, man.
See, so Seth Rollins was a fighting champion. We have Kofi Kingston, who's a fighting champion. Seth Rollins a hit, bro. Man, I say that, but I do think he's it. I think he could be that guy.
Like he's not even. He's the third. He's only the second best wrestler to me out of the three.
Right.
Out of the three.
Well, I would say that Roman has improved. It just sucks about the cancer that
Roman is good. They just give him that 3, but they do the same thing with John Cena. They give him the 3 or 4 moves.
And actually, Roman has improved.
Yeah.
And it's just like because Roman is a locker room leader now, and so like we're seeing that, and even him like working with someone like working what's the name, and just like we're seeing him like giving his influence to others, which is always dope. And but yeah, no, I feel like WWE is just in a good place, even when we have like actually Andrade. I can see Andrade seeing almost being bruh. That's the guys. Andrade. Ciampa, Gargano. It's just their size may limit them because they're like smaller than me.
You got guys like Bam Bam Bigelow who's big as hell and athletic as hell.
Yeah.
If they're not like that.
A little bit.
You need to find some guys like that, man.
Well,
some big athletic dudes.
Well, Kevin Owens, he lost weight, but like.
So did Bray Wyatt.
It's just like I don't. You don't like the Bray Wyatt chain. I just don't think Bray Wyatt is that guy, man. I don't see it, man.
So with WWE, this is why WWE is different than AEW.
Right.
With WWE, you don't need to be generally a great wrestler to be great. You have to be a great talker. Now, The Rock is one of the greatest talkers of all time.
Right.
Probably the top 3 of all time. He was a good wrestler, but he wasn't amazing. I mean, he wasn't. Like what WWE does, they'll put the championship on somebody big. And he'll do the same 5 moves. What was the Rock's moves? He had the rock bottom, he had the people's elbow, he had the DDT,
yep.
He had sometimes he'll do your own move.
If it works,
4 or 5 moves. Same with John Cena.
If it works, don't.
Niggas want to see that real wrestling, man. That's why we want AEW. We want to see we want to see all the moves. We want to see 5 moves.
But like, you act like AEW is not gonna like Cody Rhodes is gonna go into that wheelhouse.
Cody, you keep harping on Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes ain't gonna be the focal point, I don't think.
Cody Rhodes is gonna be a focal point.
So we'll go back to the Trump thing.
Right.
I don't think the Trump thing matters with younger, like with the black thing, with black wrestlers.
Right.
Cody Rhodes is my age. So the younger people are, of course there's young racist ass people, of course. But I don't think Cody is that type of, he grew up in Georgia. His father was very black friendly. He was cool. He was cool. What's that? Sapphire. He was cool as hell with her. My mama met him a few times. I always said he was cool. Like he fucked with niggas. So I don't think the apple don't fall too far from the tree. I never heard nothing bad about
No, facts.
So I don't think they're gonna be like that where he's like, nah, like that's what I'm saying. Like WWE, they never had like no real black wrestling till them.
Oh, and I wanted to mention this. Fight for the Fallen. Britt Baker got a. Did you see her get that concussion? Mm-hmm. When she tagged like the wrong corner, I think it was from Bree. I'm trying to find her. It was from like Bree Bailey or something, but yeah, and it's just like how like people are giving like passes for like AEW, but they would never give WWE those same passes. Like
if you give the passes because they're just so young in the game.
But as a wrestler, like no, but as a wrestler, if you give another wrestler a concussion, you should not get that pass. When it was her like Sasha Banks injured Paige, they were dragging her through the mud for that. When the Bella Twins they said they were giving concussions. They're still dragging through the mud to this day. But it's like when a person like Bailey from AEW does something like that, it's like, oh, they just break it off. It's just like, just keep that same energy.
You can't keep the same energy.
You have
it's
to.
Not the same type of promotion.
You have to.
AEW is a baby trying to grow. WWE is an old ass man.
And that's like, you can't do it like that. You have to, like, if AEW is trying to be on the same level as WWE, you have to keep that same standard.
But they're trying to keep the same standard, but it's going to be hiccups, man.
The best thing about AEW is their ring setup. I like their ring. The ring for Fight for the Fallen, that was pretty. Other than that, I'm pretty much cool on it. But I'm excited for October 4th. That's when it starts. October 4th.
Oh
yeah, because I think it starts the week before the Fox deal.
You know another thing about like what nobody ever gets right?
What?
Like, I don't know what it is. They just got the fire production set up. Like, how they film it, the lights, the stage, the ring setup. Like everything is, everything looks like NXT sometimes to me. Like be looking like, it look like they in like a small place.
Right.
Which, sometimes they have to be, but like, I don't know, AEW I think they need to get their production. That's another thing that WWE has over everybody else. They just got fire production.
And I think that even leads to like,
to build to that.
When you're on like, when you even look at like the NBA and MLB, it's just like, that's who WWE is on par with when it comes to production.
Yeah.
And so it's just like,
and AEW's more WNBA.
And facts. And it's just like, you want to get to that level, and it's going to take like you actually investing into like production and getting the right people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but just closing it out, what would you like to say just about the current state of wrestling in general, AEW, whatever?
I think overall it's in a good place.
Right.
I just want to see more competition. I love. So the Attitude Era was only the Attitude Era because of WCW. It's the only reason. And I think if AEW does something, it's not like I want to see WWE fail. I'm not one of those.
Right.
I don't hate WWE.
Right.
But I feel like they need competition. It's like you always need competition to get better. Iron sharpens iron. WCW and WWF at the time were going head to head every Monday night, and I was switching back and forth between both.
Right.
And it was so bad that WCW was talking about the ending of Raw on their show. They said, "Oh yeah, by the way, Mankind's gonna win the championship tonight."
Yeah.
And it was that much competition. So that was why the Attitude Era was the best time in WWF because of WCW. They brought that out of it. If WCW was never around, they probably would still been doing that corny ass early '90s shit.
It takes
rock and wrestling or whatever.
It does take iron to sharpen iron. I just don't think AEW is there yet.
They gonna
but yeah, but
they got the money.
Do they have the money?
They got the billionaire behind them. They got the TNT deal. That's one thing that TNA never really had. They didn't really have.
They had it. They're still around now.
They're still around. They're on Twitch. They're not around.
Like they're still around. I think it's like what's it called? It's like Prime America or something. Yeah. It's like they also showed the NRA TV before it closed, but that's like I think they're on that channel. But yeah, no, I would just like to say, I definitely like to see more minorities in championship range, just because it's been good to see like Kofi. It's been good. I want to see a Big E reign. I would like to see more minorities in AEW as well, and more focus on like minority characters, just like
not just blacks, but like
not just blacks, but just like. Not like Japanese, but just like Hispanics, like even like Chinese, just like give every culture a chance because there's wrestlers from all over the world who, if you give them that opportunity, they're gonna run with it.
But who is most of WWE's fans?
I'll say because I've always been a fan, but white people. But I will say that's like a skewed notion because like Hispanics have been WWE fans. I have hardly met a white person in real life who's been a WWE fan.
That's most of that.
Yeah, and that's their demographic, but it's just like, it's bigger than that because like wrestling is like a community.
They gave Del Rio the championship in that shit.
Nah, man, Del Rio was...
Del Rio, I like Del Rio.
Nah.
So, there's progress.
But thank you, I want to appreciate you for coming on, man.
Hey, man,
appreciate you. Follow Road Knows on all social media platforms at ROKNOWS. Make sure to follow me at One Marcus Flowers. Follow Morgan at MetroMeta26. We have a lot of stuff coming out. Yeah, that's it. Peace.